Hey guys, Bryce with Trick Tools here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the line of BuildPro welding tables. So, as you can see, there's a lot going on this table, and we'll talk about the accessories in a minute. This table here is the 38 by 47 inch table size. Features all these individual plates on the top that you can, as you can see here, you can move them around and shift them depending on what projects you're working on. To be able to give you the capabilities, the width, and the holding power that you need. So these tables, basically the way they're built is all kind of modular. So these plates all bolt on. There's different mounts here you can bolt to. The legs, you can get in a couple of different configurations. So the legs, these legs would be their kind of standard leg with their adjustable height caster on it. You can get it leveled out, their leveling caster, do that sort of thing. This has these braces in between the legs that really make the table even that much more sturdy. And then from there, there's a lot of different leg options and configurations depending on how you want to do it. If you get their standard leg, they have a 30-inch height leg that just has a regular foot on it that you can use to get the table level. They have a 36-inch height. They have one that you can just have a regular caster wheel on, and then these leveling casters as well. Or if you, depending on what you're working on and you don't want legs with it, you want to build your own, you're going to use it maybe on another surface, that sort of thing, you can order it without legs. So yeah, like I said, these tables are modular. Everything kind of bolts together, slides together, so that these plates are 5/8 thick. On this specific table, they're nitride coated, but you can get them without the nitride coating. These holes are 5/8 in diameter, and then you have 2-inch hole centers on there. And then basically the flatness on these is certified at 0.004 per foot. So you know you're going to get a nice flat surface for being able to fix your things, jig things up, make sure that you're building parts of your project that are going to be square, level, that sort of thing. So as far as some of the accessories are concerned, so as you can see, there's a lot here, but there is also a lot that is not on here. They're very versatile in that way. There's a number of different clamping options. You're going to have these different types of slide clamps. Now these ones here, they drop right into these discs that go in between the main slots of the table. Now there's an 1.75 inch gap here in the main slot of the table, and you can slide these around wherever you need them, drop your clamp in, and then when you clamp this in place, it locks in and won't go anywhere. So you get this size clamp for there. Each one of these clamping options has this little foot on the bottom, a little swivel foot. You can also get a little add-on V-block, kind of an adjustable V-block that you can add onto here. Now this one, there's a little metal snap ring, and you can just pop that off. There's the normal swivel foot. Pop this one in place, and then it's held in place. And basically these swivel to however you need them. Makes it good for clamping tubing or anything that's not a total flat surface, or if you are clamping on a flat surface, it just gives you an extra wide footprint as opposed to the normal swivel there. So that's an option there. So that's the style that slides in here. Has a different, the size of this is different than these next clamps I'm going to show you. So on these next clamps, these ones are made to slide directly into the holes on the table. So again, like I said, 5/8 is the hole size, so these are all made to slide into those holes, and when you get them in there, you clamp them down. When you tighten them up, you can't pull them out of the hole, and they hold your part nice and firm. So same thing on these, a little swivel foot here. You can get the V-block option. Now this is a smaller clamp, and then we have a bigger version of that on the back side, so you can see the size difference between these two clamps. And they're going to give you a little bit different holding power, reach, that sort of thing. So this one has the little kind of a adjustable V-block on the bottom side of this one. So there's that style, and then there's these that kind of have a screwdriver type handle on them, which makes it real easy for a little bit quicker work. You can just tighten that up like that. It's held in there nice and firm. So some of these different options are going to make it easier depending on what you're working on. Some of them might be better suited for what you're working on, leverage, that sort of thing. This clamp here is pretty unique. So this is actually a ratchet to be able to tighten up on your material. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to grab one of these stops for the table. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in a hole, and then this stop, let's see if we can line it up here. I'm going to set that there. So what's going to happen, what you're going to do is you're going to open up the clamp, and then as this drops on here, once you get that set, then you ratchet that back, and that's how it gets held on. So different style clamp can achieve some pretty strong holding power there with the ratchet mechanism to be able to hold that in place, and it's really going to hold your part tight. So then to pop it loose, you just take a little bit of pressure, put it on it, and then pop that little button there. You can loosen it right up and move your clamp wherever you may need it. So from there we have these vice grip style clamps, which as you can see is about a half a vice grip. It just has the 5/8 mounting stud here, drops in your hole, and then you clamp it in and it's held in place. Now these are adjustable, so if you're holding something that's a little bit taller, you can adjust this back just like a normal vice grip, clamp that in place. So pretty versatile, quick vice grip style quick clamp. So for even more clamping options here, we have this style clamp, which is adjustable in a number of different ways. So there's a little ring right here that you can slide up and down along the length of this shaft here, and you can get it set at different heights in order to raise and lower the height of this. Slide that ring down, and that's where it's going to sit, and then it'll stay there when you clamp. So you want to move that down, just slide that ring up, and you can easily move that down closer to your clamping height there. And then you can also slide this in or out in order to get further reach or less on here. So this clamp here is able to pivot in this way. That way if you're trying to clamp a little bit of an angle, that sort of thing, it's easy to do with this clamp. Then we have this next one, which is essentially pretty close to the same thing, except it doesn't have the swivel option on the screw for tightening it. But you can slide this in and out for your reach and up and down for your height. And then this is pretty much the same as this, except for instead of having this kind of screwdriver style handle, you have just the arm to be able to turn it and clamp it in that way. So still adjustable on your reach and then the height on the table. So from there, there's a lot of different options as far as fixturing goes. So there's a number of different of these angle brackets. These have holes in them that match the table as far as the pattern. So you can put multiple bolts in there or one if you're trying to offset it. There's an open space here, so you can really, depending on where your, depending on where your part is, once you drop attaching bolt in here, you can then, get that set up at an angle, different things that way, and slide it wherever you need to before you secure it in place. So, so from there, we have a lot of different stops. So this would just be kind of a drop-in material stop. Once you get this set in place, if you want to set multiple in place, you can take, say a piece of material and you can butt it right up against there and it'll hold in place there, different heights, that sort of thing. So there's going to be some options as far as that goes. And then there's different V-blocks for being able to drop into these holes here that you can use to hold tubing, different materials, that sort of thing. These can be held in place with a bolt, or you can just leave them sit in there, put a clamp over the top, that sort of thing as well. So there's a number of different attaching bolts that we offer. So these are going to be a shoulder bolt that are made to fit the hole specifically, and then they're different lengths for being able to attach something above the table. So if this drops in, you get your washer and nut on the back side. Now, depending on what length of this you have, will tell you about how much you can you know, clamp in that or, you know, bolt down in that space, or obviously, you know, if you're not using up all the threads, you can go a little higher. So there's different lengths of these depending on, you know, what length you need for material, the stop, the number of stops that you're trying to hold in place, that sort of thing. The fixturing and clamping is really versatile on this table in that way of being able to just attach with a lot of different hardware. So as far as that goes, there's some of these that are magnetic. Now this is just a mounting plate that would go underneath the table. So this has three kind of embossed material here that is threaded, that's going to give you the ability to thread a bolt down into this hole to be able to hold something in place. So it lines up perfectly with the holes underneath, and it's magnetic, so it holds itself in place. You don't have to try to hold it from the backside. So you get your part in here and you thread it down into there, and you're ready to go. Now we have these where you can get them in kind of a 3-hole length or a 2-hole length. So there's those. Some of the last things I'm going to talk about here are some of the attaching hardware that we have for this, which is going to include some different ball lock bolts. So these here make it real easy for being able to, instead of using a regular traditional bolt with a thread, you can drop these in and spin them tight and they'll lock in place to be able to hold something down. So if you take, say, one of these angle risers here, drop it in place, you can drop the ball lock in, and when you tighten the top section here, it puts some pressure down inside of the bolt, and it forces these little balls that are inside of here, there's 3 of them, it forces them out and expands. That way it obviously can't lift out of the hole. So like I said, when you do that, you just thread those down in there until it locks into place, and then you can't get it out of the hole there. So same thing, like I said, there's different sizes of these. So when you're looking at them, you know, you want to make sure you're maybe have a selection of them, or make sure you have the right sizes for the parts that you're trying to hold into place. So there's a handful of different options really on all these ball lock bolts. So you, like I said, you want to make sure you get the right size or, you know, the right setup. Now this one here, this is an adjustable one a little bit. So this one here, when you back this off and be able to get it in and out of the hole, there's a little collar here. So this will be able to give you a little more height. So obviously you can thread it far enough down so you can operate at kind of this clamping height here. But if you back it up and you want that ring, it'll give you that extra height you need to be able to clamp something in. So there's some versatility, some different options as far as all these little attaching ball lock bolts and that sort of thing. There are a couple of different more specialty type clamps and such, you know, that we have available. These ones kind of operate like these stops do, where they, you know, just drop in the hole, but these ones actually have little threaded clamp on there. So if you want to, you know, set it in place, you got something you're going to clamp in, you just thread that, you know, that way, and it'll put some side pressure on what you're trying to clamp. So there's this one, you got a little bit larger one here. So like I said, it gives you that versatility. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is so this table, like I said, it's on casters, so you can easily rotate it around, move it around your shop if you need to before you get it set down. So right here on the side, you can kind of see right here, there's a block that's mounted. It's bolted down here, and then it's got 2 sides to it. So there's a side here, and then it's open on the back side. And there's another plate with a hole in the bottom. And we have this kind of mounted on here with this extra plate to show that if you need and want some side mounting capabilities in your table, you can use a block like this. There's one on each end of this table, or this, you know, plate here. You can use one of those blocks in order to be able to attach a plate down, and then all the accessories that will fit in these 5/8 holes will also fit in the side as well. So it gives you that extra, you know, fixturing capability if you need it. These blocks here you can use for any of the fixturing stuff up here. Sometimes you need that big, real nice heavy duty block. There's different versions of those. So if there's accessories that maybe you've seen before or you're interested in that you're not seeing here on this table, please visit our website. Check out the huge selection of accessories that we have for these BuildPro tables. If you still are having problems or you just want some help trying to figure out what exactly you want and need for your table, please give us a call and our guys can help you out with that. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next one.